to my channel, guys. As you can see, the Audi A4 is actually behind me. It is the 2.0 TFSI variant. Audi was kind enough to lend me this car for 2 days, so I just want to take this opportunity to film a walk around tour. There will also be a POV drive video, which I will put the link in the description once it's uploaded. So let's get started. The color on this A4 is actually the monsoon grey. So let's unlock the car. If you notice, that was the LED indicators. There, I'll just press unlock again. And if you go to the back, this is how it looks like in the rear. Yep, they're the dynamic indicators. Since we're here, this is the tire that it's using. This car uses a 17-inch Handbrake tire on all four sides. It's the same. It's the 225/50R17. Now, another thing that I want to note is that the design of the car actually constitutes to a drag coefficient of 0.23, if you didn't know that. And some of the designs actually is incorporated in the side mirrors. You can see this sculpted area and also the lines at the back. You can see that. And the lines along the side and the bottom of the car is completely sealed as well. And with this sculpted boot lid, it all constitutes to that drag coefficient of 0.23. But there's actually a downside to the design of the side mirrors actually. I'll show you guys when I get in the car. To get in the car, you can either use the remote or you can use the comfort access. Yes, it has comfort access. To get in, simply put your hand here and just pull out. Now, note one thing. This is something that I don't really fancy. The door handle actually opens up like this rather than this side to the front. And I find it quite annoying at times. It would probably feel better if I open it like that. This is what you look at when you enter the car. It looks fairly modern. As you can see, the leather doesn't really look premium, but it's actually quite comfy. Both driver and co-driver side is electronically adjustable. You have 4-way lumbar support. Anyway, let's get in because it's totally roasting outside. Now to start the car, just put your foot on the brake and start-stop engine button is here. Oh, and the mirrors fold out when you start the car. This is the system. It's a fairly simplified system and very easy to use. There are a lot of buttons throughout the layout of the center console and the steering wheel, but it's all very easy to learn and user-friendly. This is what the driver looks at. This 2 meter at the side is actually analog. You actually get a small 7-inch display in the center. One thing that I didn't mention is that this car doesn't come with a tech pack. And what the tech pack offers you is that the main thing is it would change this into a virtual cockpit, a 12.3-inch virtual cockpit. Apart from the virtual cockpit, you actually get matrix LED headlamps with dynamic indicators. If you notice, those are just normal indicators in the front. It's like Audi purposely gave you dynamic LED indicators in the rear, but then not the front. So in order to complete the whole dynamic indicator look, you have to add in the tech pack. What other things that you get in the tech pack? You do get the MMI navigation plus with MMI touch. Yes, this car doesn't have navigation as well, but if you notice, there's a navi button here, but if you press it, there's nothing, navigation not installed because the tech pack is not included in this car. You also get Audi Connect, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And lastly, you get reverse camera with the tech pack. Yes guys, this car doesn't come with reverse camera as standard. I'll just show you guys what you get. If you put it in reverse, all you get is this parking aid. I assume that the reverse camera is going to be here. I'm not sure about that, but it just feels weird and I feel kind of song lah if I pay such a price and I don't get a reverse camera. It's not a very big car, so it's fairly easy to maneuver. Basically, tech pack, well, as the name suggests, it adds quite a bit of technology stuff into the car lah. And apart from the tech pack, there's also another package which you guys can choose. Is the S-Line package. So I'm just going to put it right here for you guys to see what is included in the S-Line package. Right, so getting back to the interior of the car, there are quite a lot of soft touch material in the car, and most parts, even at the side here, is covered in leather. I'm not sure if you can see it. Now, that's the cubby space. It's actually the first time I'm opening it. It's quite small. Yeah. I don't think I can even fit my sucker in there. I mean my suction mount. There, I'm just gonna get it. Well, that fits, so that is quite good. But if you look at this cubby, oh, it fits. But I have to put it through this side because this side has a bigger space, but not this side, you see. Anyway, that's where you put in your disc and also SD card, and that's where your passenger airbag control is. Right, if you notice, the dashboard actually has a air conditioning vent along the whole dashboard through the passenger side. Yep, this has air coming out actually. It's not for show only, but not as strong as all this lah, the fan speed. And this material right here is actually aluminium. They call it aluminium ellipse or something. Yeah, but it's aluminium from what I understand. And if you look lower, this is where your climate control is. This car has 3-zone climate control. And this few switches right here is actually touch sensitive. If you can see, do you see the icon or words actually enlarge when I go through the switches? Yep, that's actually quite fancy. So you just click up to saying and yeah, the car. And if you look even lower than that, these few switches, wait, let me turn off the fan speed a bit. This is actually the drive select, which means your driving modes, and you can actually select it right here, or you can select it through the menu as well, but this is easier. So if I click up, you can see it on screen. Efficiency, comfort, auto, dynamic, individual. Dynamic means sport mode. Auto is adaptive driving mode. If you are driving steadily, it will go into comfort, that sort of thing. There's also an individual mode where you can set the engine and gearbox power delivery, the suspension control and steering. Yes, this car actually comes with adaptive suspension, and I'm actually in love with adaptive suspension. It is actually quite comfy. So going back to this panel here, this is the auto start stop function for the engine, but so far it hasn't kicked in when I drive this car, so I'm not sure when is it gonna kick in. This is actually for the parking sensors, the parking aid. So you just click, that thing pops up. This switch is to switch off the head unit. Coming to the center console, the first thing that you notice is the ring light around the cup holders, which adds a modern touch to the car. And these are just your media controls. By the way, if you guys didn't notice, every single switch in the car actually has a clicking sound, and I actually love that because it actually gives you a sense of quality lah. And this is how you navigate through the screen, through the big dial. And this is the gear lever. I actually love the design of this thing, and it feels very good as well. So you actually have to click this switch at the side here and pull with the foot on the brake, obviously, to engage a gear. And once you're in D, you can actually push it to the left to engage pedal shifter mode, which this car has. It's actually quite mini sized. Feels very good also, but it's plastic lah. And this button right here is the auto hold function. If you are in a traffic jam, you don't have to leave your leg on the brake, you can actually engage this and the car will brake itself. You can lift your foot from the brake pad. This is the electronic handbrake, parking brake. Now from my experience in these 2 days, I think you have to manually engage this parking brake. But when you want to disengage it, if you are in drive, you can just step lightly on the accelerator pedal and this parking brake will disengage, which is fairly common for cars nowadays. All the controls is actually quite simple and user-friendly. Oh, and this is where you control the lights. Same as other Continental cars, this is your light controls. And this thing is for the brightness of your display lights. Just push it and there's a knob where you can adjust. This is your front fog lamp, this is your rear fog lamp. They actually put a rain sign on the one on top to remind the drivers to use it when you are in low visibility conditions. Oh, and did I show you guys the narrow side mirrors? It's actually quite narrow in person. Well, not that I can't see out of it, but it just feels kind of narrow. Now, something else that I have to note on this car is that the attention to detail. One of the things that you can see when you are in the driver's seat is the rear mirror. As you can see, it is frameless. But it's not very thin though, so it has a solid feel to it. Without the frame at the side, it looks very sleek. And this sun visor, some cars, if you go through some bumps or whatever, it will still wobble, but this doesn't. This actually feels really tight and in place. This knob is to control your volume settings and to go to the next track or previous track, and also the power button for your songs. I don't know why they put it there. I actually find it not very strategic to put this switch here because I had a big size passenger. The legs were actually blocking my need to control the volume. And I didn't show you guys. The 12-volt stud actually looks the same with the volume switch. Cool, huh? Another thing that I realized is that this part right here is actually a different material. The same for the co-driver seat. And I assume it's because of the seat belt buckle. You know, in some cars, it's actually rub against the seat, right? And the part where the leather is gonna like disintegrate or break or whatever. So this is actually very thoughtful. So yeah, let's hop in the back, and that beeps every time you open the door. At the back seat, you actually get a manual sunshade. And this is how it looks. Leg room is actually not that bad. Actually, it's not bad at all. Look at this. I have loads of space. I feel comfy. The seats are comfy. And this is what the passenger looks at. Basically, it's just a climate control. You can't control the fan speed, but you can control the temperature. And there's also a power outlet here, 12-volt power outlet. You may have noticed the pouch here is actually super huge. Look at that. It's right up here. Nettings on both sides at the back of the seats. The armrests, the cup holders actually open up individually like this. And there's a small storage space in the center. Now you can't open this up, but you can open the seats to make it flat. Right, so that's basically it for the back seat of this car. Nothing much to talk about. Oh, there's another thing that I didn't mention. This is actually an armrest. You can put it like this or open it up to a storage, but I find it not very smooth. Let's take a look at the boot. Boot size is decent, not super huge, but still practical for 4-person. Yes, you heard that. I actually would rate this car for 4-person because of that huge pouch in the center. You get 4 safety vests. See, they even give you 4 safety vests. I think it's 4 because one is like one vest, and there is a first aid kit, and you get hooks as well to hook your stuff. And this netting is really useful if you are getting 4 huge papayas. So if you just unhook this, that is your spare tire. Right. Oh, and that's your hazard triangle. This car comes with dual exhaust, which makes it looks kind of sporty from the rear. Fuel. And basically that's it. If you would like to know how the car drives and performs, check out my POV drive video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Yes, it's quite noisy also. I'll see you in my next video.